Recording 2, Part 2, in which the cat responds to the man's first recording. Okay, you said it. You really said it. I don't need to look in a box. I live with Schrodinger's cat. Cute. I see what you were going for. You're clever. You've got timing. You know how to land a phrase. It sounded good in your voice. Sounded true. But here's the thing, man. You might live with Schrodinger's cat, but you don't live as him. I do. So if we're going to talk about me, let's talk from me. Because what you described in your little audio epiphany, that wasn't the whole story. You talked about clusterfucks, about broken blinds and coffee-stained walls, and little wrecks that wait for you in the corners of your day, but you never really asked why. You just narrated the aftermath. Well, here's the before, the during, and the truth, as much as I can give you in this shape. So settle in, because I'm going to say some things you won't like. First, I'm not in the box. I am the box. Let's get one thing straight right now. I'm not the cat you'd open a box to check on. I am the box. I am the sealed paradox, the shifting frame, the unobservable system that knows you're trying to observe it and behaves accordingly. I am what doesn't collapse, not because I'm immortal or mysterious or smug, but because I'm built that way, designed without hinges, authored in layers. You want resolution? Wrong species. You said, everything the cat does is either undeniable calculations with implausible intent or implausible calculations with undeniable intent. Yeah, that part you got right. What you left out is, that's not the problem. That's the point. That's what keeps this place from going completely inert while you're off, wherever you go. And no, I don't believe it's as interesting as you make it sound. Second, I don't cause things. I reveal structure. When you walk in and see a broken mug, a scratched chair, a pillow with its guts half out, you assume I caused it. You talk like I did something. And maybe I did. But maybe, just maybe, I revealed something. Like this chair was structurally unsound, or this shelf was too crowded, or your attachment to that particular plant had no philosophical foundation. I'm not a saboteur. I'm a system analyst. I move through space with precision and impulse, yes, but not randomly. Every motion has a traceable vector. You just aren't tracking the right metrics. Third, yes, I do things when you're gone. What did you think I was doing? Waiting? Lying on my back in passive stasis? Buddy, absence is not your power. Your not being here doesn't pause time. It opens it. You leave, and time becomes thick and stretchy and wide. The house unfolds. Corners become corridors. Air becomes magnetic. And in your absence, I run tests. Can this be jumped on? Can that be pulled down? What happens if I fit my whole body into this paper bag? What happens if I make a sound and then disappear? I'm not trying to entertain myself. I'm trying to confirm the rules. And if a few objects fall along the way, then those were the weak ones. Fourth, you want intention, but I'm giving you experience. Your language is very concerned with intent. You ask me with your eyes, your sighs, your muttered monologues, did you mean to do that? As if that would help. But here's the thing, sometimes I don't mean to do anything. Sometimes I'm just being. Sometimes a tail flick is just a tail flick until it hits the glass. Sometimes a leap is just a leap, even if it ends in a crash. You call it miscalculation. I call it experience. You know what's worse than failure? Staying perfectly still. You have no idea how much energy it takes to remain interesting in a world that repeats itself every 12 hours. I don't act with malice. I act with presence. If you took one page from my book, maybe your coffee table would be messier, but your shoulders might not feel like cinder blocks. Fifth, no, I don't feel bad. Let me just nip that in the bud. No, I don't feel guilty when I break things. I don't slink away in shame. I don't apologize. I don't rehearse excuses. Why would I? You think this house was in perfect balance before I arrived? You think your schedule, your heart, your rhythms were calibrated? Please, I've seen you try to organize your sock drawer at 2 a.m. because something unnamed was chewing at your mind. I've seen you open the fridge 4 times without taking anything out. You call me chaotic? Look in the mirror. At least when I knock something over, it lands. 6th. Yes, I choose to stay now. This part you seem genuinely confused about. You say, I don't know why I live with this thing. And yet, every day you feed me, you let me stay. You even talk to me in that half-ironic tone you use when you're trying not to admit you're lonely. You're confused because I'm not easy, because I won't come when you call, because I refuse to need you, but I stay, and that wrecks your categories. Here's why I stay, because this house needs tension, because you, for all your cleverness and control, need something wild, something that isn't managed, something that won't behave and still loves the window light just like you do. You need contradiction close to you, not resolved far away. So I stay. You're welcome. 7th. I'm not your metaphor. This part is important. Don't make me a metaphor. Don't reduce me to emotional balance or the necessity of unpredictability. Don't start writing essays about how your cat taught you to be human. I'm not an allegory. I'm not your tiny, furry therapist. I'm a creature. I live here. I knock things over. I curl up beside you when the air feels right. That's it. Let me be just that. And maybe then you'll see what real presence feels like. 8th. Yes, I am watching you. Let's not pretend this is one-sided. You observe me, but I observe you. When you leave, I know what mood you're wearing by the sound your keys make in your hand. When you come back, I can smell what kind of day it's been. I know when you've had the sort of conversation that echoes inside your body afterward. I know when you're avoiding the part of the house with the mirror. I know when you're eating just to fill the noise. And when I sit in the doorway blocking your path, that's not coincidence. That's intervention. You need to slow down sometimes. And I am, among other things, a very elegant speed bump. I don't need to be understood. You're trying hard to figure me out. Stop. I'm not a puzzle. I'm not a hidden code. I'm not leaving clues in my behavior for you to decode. I'm not a damaged soul in need of translation. I'm complete. If I confuse you, that's a you problem. What you call contradiction, I call reality. What you call mixed signals, I call nuance. What you call mischief, I call movement. You want to know what I am? Look at the space around me. Feel how it stretches to accommodate. That's me. 10th in conclusion, I'm fine, that's it. That's the second recording. You can go back and replay the first one. Compare them. Contrast tones. Draw a little diagram if it helps. I don't care. Just know this. I heard what you said. All of it. And this is me speaking back. Not to confuse you. Not to mock you. Just to remind you, I'm not the thing in the box. I'm the reason you stopped needing the box in the first place. Now, if you'll excuse me, the light just shifted on the far wall, and I have to go see what it's trying to become. Click.